Okay, so translated by Gigi Gap. That's me. I had a proofreader an American friend of mine, who read everything, checked everything that I did. But of course, it was just us two for the entire game. So we're starting at the beginning again, because I kind of want to check my own translation as well. If I happen to see anything, I'm just gonna make a screenshot and then email it to the devs with like a little mark on it, being like, this should be this. At least that's my plan. I hope, of course, to find no mistakes, but there's gonna be a mistake. It was about 50,000 words to translate this game. That's like a book, 200-page book. It was intense. Took me about 4 months. As of course I was doing all my streaming and stuff. That's also why uploads have been scarce a little bit the last couple months, or less than I would have wanted, because I was just so busy doing this with every free time that I had. But yeah, we finished it, and the dudes at iPlay are super happy with me. It's a Korean company. They bought the rights for Shin Hayarigami, and I've been closely working with them, letting them know like how far I was and stuff like that. And they were super nice. I mean, okay, oh yeah, wait. So I did it for free. And a lot of people are like, what? That's such a waste of time. You should never do it for free. Hold on. First, I really love this game. Shin Hayarigami is really, really good. It's a really good visual novel. And because I like it so much, I was worried that the first game to come to English, if it has a bad translation, people are not going to play anything else that comes out for this franchise, right? So my worry was that if no one fixes this, no one's gonna like Shin Hayarigami, and the franchise is gonna just flop in the West, and no one's gonna want it. And we can't have that happen. It needs to be good, so that more people can enjoy it. And that was why. And I already sort of did the translation on YouTube back in the day, so I already had like a big chunk of the game. I already had it, sort of. So I offered to do it for free. They accepted. So that's what we did. And here comes the announcement. So this game went live last week with my translation, and they immediately asked me for the sequel, but this time it's paid, and they're paying me double. So they're paying me back for the first game. So it all worked out in the end. I'm getting fucking paid for part 2. We're gonna do Shin Hayarigami 2. The plan is to have it done. I should be done by Halloween/November, so that they can release the game in 2018. That's the current plan. I'm still waiting for a contract, because we need to like really get this on black and white. I already have the game file, so I can already start translating, but I'm kind of just waiting for the contract to be done. The reason they can pay me this time is because the company iPlay, they got a grant from the Korean government to support their endeavors, and they're paying me really, really well for the second game. So I can't not accept it. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be more work than one was, and in less time, because they want it done by Halloween, which is like 2 full months from now. So holy fuck, I probably have to like just like 3 hours every day just has to be translation. Just every day I have to do it, and then I think I can make it. So it's going to be really intense. It's going to be stressful, because of course we're also streaming and recording every day. But it's such a great opportunity, and it's so cool that I'm actually getting paid to translate a full game. It's just so awesome to get paid to translate a game that I love. So it's really cool. So we're gonna do it. And that was the announcement. Yeah, it's really cool. I've gotten really better at translating the last couple years, and it's so cool to just see like companies picking it up like that. Really nice. But yeah, that's it. Let's start the game and hope I didn't fuck up royally. Let's hope they actually used my translation as well. So we're gonna do a new game. urban legend. Mysterious stories spread by word of mouth. Its origin is recent, but the rest is unknown. So, this isn't exactly my translation that I had on YouTube either. I sort of made like this mash of their translation and my translation. Does that make sense? Huff, huff, huff. Go! Please! Forgive me! Edgar Morin, a French folklorist, first used this term in the late 20th century, and it was made popular by Jan Harold Brunvand. If he's Dutch. Forgive me! Please don't kill me! Many of the stories seep into the minds of people in the city, distorting their grasp on reality. If you see a spelling error, let me know, please. I'll just make a note somewhere. Cringe. I don't remember doing that, but... Although people are afraid, they can't help but be drawn to them. That is one of the defining properties of an urban legend. This is already so much better than the old version. Why are people intrigued by these stories when they lack any form of truth? No! There's so much we still don't understand about the human mind. Please, I beg you. So I do expect to find mistakes. It's not going to be perfect because it was stressful doing it on my own. Sometimes it's connected with the darker side of the mind, such as fear and madness. Please, spare me. Shut up. Don't move. Ooh. And so it begins again. A chilling urban legend is born. Stop that, or else. I can't carry them properly. Huh? Give me your eyes. Yee! I have information pertaining to the murder in Town C, Prefecture S. Order! Defendant, you can only bring up information that is relevant to your case. The defendant had been completely silent up to this point. I have information pertaining to the murder in Town C, Prefecture S. Those words were enough to grant the defendant bail. Oh my god, it's so much better than the original. Yes! At the same time, the media, who seemed to be uninterested in the case prior, began to reporting like wildfire. Now everyone was interested in the case. Thank you, Baknari. That would be awesome. And me... Here we go. How do I type this? Oh, never mind. Gab. First name Gigi. Okay. Gigi Gab, even though you've been living a quiet life now you're gonna be mixed up with this madness. I think that little me was wrong. I think I changed it to apostrophes later on, but I'm not sure. Car with the defendant Sakamoto just pulled up. We can see that the defendant is very calm. Ha! Too noisy and bright. I've had enough of the press. Hey, step on it! Relax, Kazamori. That's exactly what the reporters want us to do. I know, I know. Don't treat me like a rookie. But still, being a country boy and all, this crowd is too much for me. This is my senior sitting across from me, Kazamori Hayato. Sitting across from me, Kazamori Hayato doesn't even try to hide his frustration. He always says what's on his mind. This comes off as rude to some, but it's what also gets him into trouble every so often. Since he's my senior, I usually get dragged into his altercations too. Sitting in the passenger seat, our chief, Kuroda Kunio, glances over at us with a smile. That's their job. All they want is the next big story, and that's why they try to annoy us. Enough with the journalism 101. How about treating me like an adult already? I'm already in my 50s. You two are like my two cute little kids. Mr. Kuroda always smiled at us. It was something that was both charming and frightening at the same time. Congratulations, Gigi. You've been adopted. No, I mean... yeah, thanks. Don't take it seriously. Jeez, you're too earnest. Relax, Kazamori. Take a deep breath, like this. These dad jokes aren't working in your favor, sir. Ha ha ha. I guess this is where I stopped joking around, then. During their conversation, I didn't even notice the man sitting next to me. Murderer! You should be ashamed of yourself! Execute him now! He was unfazed by their attacks. It was like he accepted everything they were shouting. I didn't say a word, but I was starting to get annoyed with all the flashes too. I'm also scared. What if I'm at the center of those snares and flashes someday? But how could this man be so calm during all of this? Maybe he was expecting all of this commotion. Maybe we should set it to auto. Maybe he's enjoying all of this. I could see a faint smile on his face when I glimpsed over at him. The defendant, who was linked to another case during the trial, is now leaving the Tokyo detention house as we speak. Defendant's name is Sekimoto Sojiro, 36 years old, former university professor arrested for murder back in 2012. He was arrested on suspicion of murder one of his own lab students. Since then, he has exercised his right to remain silent. However, during the trial, a separate case came to light that caused quite the disruption, so the court was adjourned. Both the prosecution and the defense asked for a mental examination, which was approved by the court, allowing him to be out on bail. From this point on, he'll be examined by psychiatrists, and the result may greatly affect the outcome of his case. We could hear the reporter reading their script through the window. I felt bad for the reporters, but we had different plans. So far, so good, right? We broke away from the Tokyo detention house and picked up speed once we hit the highway. The press chased after us in cars and motorcycles. There were even several helicopters in the air. Fortunately, just like we planned, we arrived at the back entrance of the General Hospital M in Tokyo. Great so far. Several police officers were waiting for us and quickly surrounded the car. Their job was to hide us from the press. This is so weird. This is mine. Time to move. It is so weird. Sekimoto did as he was told without saying a word. He acted like a model prisoner. Somehow I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to him. We continued down the elevator and went to the basement parking lot. Yee, this is so crazy. There were a couple of men waiting for us with a new car. The car windows were heavily tinted, so no one could see what it was inside. We were able to switch cars quickly while the press was covering the back entrance. We then proceeded to the parking lot exit. Phew, we lost them. It's like a scene from one of those spy movies. That's 1 point to the scoreboard for us. Don't let your guard down, Kazamori. Oh, Kazamori. I know, but our mission has been accomplished, right? He said casually to Sekimoto in celebration. Sekimoto didn't say a word. Hey, say something, Mr. Sekimoto. You had quite the intelligence to say such things. Sekimoto remained silent. He was unaffected by Kazamori's cheap taunts. Sekimoto's attitude started to anger Kazamori. Hey, are you deaf? We'll be working together for a while, so why don't we have a little chat? Oh, I should move to the right. That's enough, Kazamori. Wait. How can I turn off auto? I can't. Oh, there. Let's do that. We don't have to stoop down to their level. Well, but it's the truth, isn't it? So just tell me already. Why did you decide to join our investigation? What are you hoping to gain by working with us? You are already looking at the death sentence or life in prison anyway. Sakamoto remained silent, refusing to acknowledge Kazamori. Well, one of the higher-ups must have been desperate. We've had a rough time with our investigation. That's why I guess they would send us the likes of you. But listen up, murderer. Kazamori brings his face closer to Sekimoto. Don't think you can fool us. Sekimoto remained silent. I was starting to respect his patience. Wow, this guy's boring. I'm not into men. What the hell was that? You're the one who told him to talk. Very true, Gigi. But something bothers me as well. Unlike Kazamori, Kuroda spoke in a gentle tone. This might be my intuition talking, but I don't think Sekimoto is the culprit. What do you mean? Most people who have committed a criminal act did so because something forced them, or they are obsessive. How do I put it? They usually have something dark about them, but I don't see anything like that with him. What are you talking about, Kuroda? It's clear he's the culprit. The man was caught in the act. Yeah, that's true. Sekimoto was arrested on site. Even our small department knew about that. Yeah, that's... we're reminiscing. As soon as the police was contacted, they headed for the university. By the time they arrived at the scene, Sekimoto was standing to the side, silently. It was in the engine room on the second floor basement, an empty, cold, concrete room. Did you do this? But he didn't have to ask. It must have been quite unsettling. They said he was standing there, still holding the deadly weapon in his hand. At least that's what it said on the report. The body was already turning pale due to the large amount of blood loss. The bloodstains on the victim were already drying, indicating that some time had already passed since the incident. Oh, that's like a new... guess didn't fit. Victim's heart was specifically targeted, but contrary to what one might expect, the murderer was just standing there. More police officers came in after the first one discovered the scene and arrested Sekimoto on site. He didn't resist or seemed to be affected by it. He followed the authorities' orders with indifference and was taken to the nearest police station. Ever since then, he has remained silent. His lips remained sealed regardless of any question asked of him. Several detectives tried approaching him for questioning. They even threatened him, tried to force him into talking. And once in a while, they tried a kinder approach. But he never responded to their questioning. Yeah, up until that moment in court, with those words, he set off mass confusion and hysteria. So far, so good, right? I glanced over at him. He still had a cool expression on his face. I kind of want to compare it to the original stream. Just like Kuroda said, he didn't look like a murderer. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Why did he bring up the murder in Town C, Prefecture S, something he has nothing to do with? I wonder why the higher-ups believed his statement and let him out on bail. I think higher-ups before didn't have a thing between it. While making sure I don't get noticed, I observe him closely. If he has even the slightest bit of information for us. It's no good. I'm not getting anything from him. He's so different from the others. Wait. Bucknari, could you make a note of that? Since you're making notes? I'm so sorry I'm asking this of you, but could you write down that I need to check if higher-ups has a dash in between? In the first instance? Thank you. Hey Inez! Hello! Secretary Steph, yeah, she should get paid. Thank you. You look like you want to ask me something. You only talk to women? What a womanizer. Go ahead, Gigi, have your say. I wonder if he would give me straight answers. Pondering that, I voice my doubts or try to annoy him. Ah, Dave, thank you so much for the sub. That's awesome. 451. Oh, maybe 452. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Silent. What's up? I voice my doubts. Voice my doubts. So why did... It appears that I am a distant relative of some official working the prosecutor's office who has ties to this case. Maybe you guys didn't know that. They must be clutching at straws wanting to solve this case. That startled me. How did he know what I was thinking? After I made my statement in court at the Tokyo detention house, the warden approached me to verify my statement, and this is what he proposed. He said, "If you promise to cooperate and give them information, we can lower your sentence." Plea bargaining. That's illegal in Japan. That means the warden must have some strong connections helping him. Correct. So I set 3 conditions. I should be allowed to visit the crime scenes, and that Gigi Gat would be put in charge of my case. What? Me? Why? I could only respond confused to the sudden mention of my name. What's the last condition? You only mentioned 2. They have to let me get to the bottom of a rumor surrounding the Tokyo detention house. The rumor that there is a criminal on death row here that won't die. Who the hell is that? Considering my profession, I just have to know. I'm a university professor that studies folklore, urban legends to be precise. So what was the warden's response? He said, "I will give you anything you want as long as you prove your worth." So that's why I decided to give my statement in court. Scholars like this are beyond my comprehension. The word nerd comes to mind. That nerd? Fuck. That nerd should be... quotation. You're not supposed to be, give me a straight answer. I don't mind getting scolded by a woman. Other than that, there's no particular reason. I just read about you in a magazine. Boknari, please. Nerd. Quotation marks. I think what they did... I sent them... The game is divided into 290 files. Because each choice... So there's usually 3 choices that appear. Each choice has its own little file. So each like branching path is its own file. And I did the first 100 files when I just started to work with them. Brackets. Yes, brackets. They should be quotation marks. And at that point, I hadn't fixed those brackets yet. And later, I changed the brackets to quotation marks because I thought it looked better. And I think... But... So I sent them the first 100 files to be like, is this okay? Do you like this? And then they already updated the game with the 100 files. And I was like, oh, fuck, they shouldn't have done that because that's like incomplete. So then the first half, or the first bit's going to be looking like kind of okay. It wasn't even proofread yet. And then the rest is going to be like the old shitty version. And then I sent them the whole thing again. I went back and went over the beginning again and changed a couple more things. And I think they maybe have just replaced the last part and not the first 100. So, I think that's what's happening. But if you write that down, then I can check my local files because I still have all the files on my computer. I'll check if I changed it or not, and then I'll tell them to re-update the first 100 files. Parentheses. That's the word. What will you do now, Gigi? A murderer is interested in you. That's not my intention. If it was, wouldn't I say that I've fallen in love with you? If it were, I think. Sakimoto's loosening up. Maybe he's trying to catch us off guard through some casual conversation. I better not take the bait, so I decided to keep a straight face. No offense, but I don't think the higher-ups fully trust you yet. A smirk appears on Sakimoto's face. Are you trying to use the same strategy on me now? No, I'm not joking around. Can you elaborate in that case? Do you require proof? The reason I want proof is because we're responsible for you now. Isn't the reason because you 3 are very capable detectives? Ha! That's a good one. What a comedian. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this isn't really our thing. Our areas of expertise are not in murder, burglary, or sex crimes. What are you in charge of then? We are the Special Law Enforcement Unit. Special Law? Sakimoto's face darkened a little. This is the first time he actually listened to us. The official name is... Oh, wait. What? Higher-ups does have a hyphen, by the way. Unfortunately, most people mistakenly like the... Yeah, I did have a higher-up at the second time, and I think I missed it the first time. That's why I made a note of that. The official name is Special Law Enforcement Unit of Town C, Prefecture S. It was created to help support other divisions. Our job is to verify evidence. To support investigations, our responsibility is allocating personnel to handle each specific issue and find the best fit for each department to increase their efficiency. And at the same time, our department manages past cases, analyzes data on current cases, and preserves something. In other words, you are a worthless division. That's a mistake. You don't mince your words, do you? But I guess in a top-down organization like yours, we are the only department that goes side to side. We get all sorts of information. Worthless division was a mistake. Because of the stunt you pulled back at court. In other words, you're stuck with us because we couldn't refuse. I feel bad for telling him that he ended up with us because he was useless, but it's better if he understands the situation as it is. Sakamoto went silent. I couldn't tell if he was disappointed or if he just lost interest. Kazumori was looking at him too, with a face that seemed to say, "Not what you expected, huh?" I see, so we're a group of detective washouts and troublesome defendant. This is turning out to be interesting. Huh. Driving 2.5 hours, we arrived at our destination, Town C, Prefecture S. It was so much work, Cakes. It was crazy. We took Sakamoto to an underground cell. It was about 50,000 words. Look, we prepared a special sweet just for you. Do you like it? Why, thank you. Gigi, can you give him the rundown? Absolutely. This place is your new home. You will be in handcuffs whenever you leave your cell. This is a special procedure for these unusual times. Only a handful of people know about you, but we don't plan on giving you any special privileges. On the record, you're receiving a psychiatric evaluation at a local hospital, so we also scheduled one for you as a formality. If we decide you no longer serve a purpose, you will be sent back to Tokyo even if the investigation is still ongoing. Look at the little slippers there. Now, get in. Sakamoto enters his cell without any complaints. This place seems nice. I can faintly smell something sweet. It smells like tangerine or... We were told to get as much information out of you as we can for this investigation. We don't have time for your chit-chat. That's fine. Time waits for no one. You have to hurry before another person dies. Another victim? I don't like the sound of that. I'll just be sarcastic again. You talk like you can see the future.
Excellent.
Ah, Kat, thank you for the raid. Thank you so much. This is my translation. I translated this game. Isn't that awesome? We're playing it and kind of like play testing it because it still needs to get another look over because there's typos here and there. Are you going to test me then, just like they did back in the Meiji period? Yeah, I did, Kirk. This is my translation. I worked on this for 4 months. Time is pressing. I will hand you some case files first. I passed him the documents through the bars. What I've just handed to you is a summary of what we have on what happened in Town C, Prefecture S. Sakamoto leafed through the documents while he listened. He stopped on one particular photograph. Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much. It's a picture of a deceased naked man. He was found in the valley near here. What is unique about this one was the way he was murdered. Both of his eyes were gouged out by a big pair of scissors. What's more disturbing was that all his teeth were pulled out. We haven't been able to find any other peculiarities about the body, so we have nothing to identify him with. Ooh, I know who it is. Because he was found naked, he also didn't have any belongings on him. No traces of past surgery either. Currently, this person has no name. It is super surreal, yeah, Chocobo. This is too much. What, even a person like you has to avert his eyes? A couple of people have been reported missing in the same area around the same time. We couldn't link them to the victim. That about sums it up. We don't know what to do anymore. And then, like a ray of light, your testimony appears. So, I want to hear your opinion on this matter, Mr. Sakamoto. I showed him respect by addressing him with Mr. because I felt like it was necessary for what I was about to say. I want you to start from the beginning. Do you really have information critical to this case? I'm so proud of myself. He looked me in the eyes. I stared back at him, making sure he knew that he couldn't run from my making sure he knew that he couldn't run from my question. It's clear you don't believe me. I wasn't expecting a question that came from the same question as the premise. I still have trouble understanding that. Yes or no? Answer me. Of course. Without sounding accusing, I tried to get what I needed. Do you have information that will lead us directly to the murderer? I do. Then let's get straight to the point. Tell us who the murderer is, or give me some conclusive information. It's Blankman. Huh? I didn't expect him to sound so confident. Oh, Leon, thanks so much for the sub! That's awesome! This was the first time I've ever heard the name Blankman. He sensed that I was getting irritated. I started to sense he was getting irritated? Wait, wasn't that double just now? Ugnari, could you write down, I started to sense he was getting irritated? And then I'll just look that up later. I think that didn't, like, follow up well. Wah, wah, wah. Nya, nya, nya. That's not what we're after. Don't play us for fools. I'm not joking, I assure you. No one uses this method. It's Blankman. Are you mocking us? She's asking you who the murderer is. Ah, murderer. Fuck. I'm sure I changed that. I was about to say, like, it really annoyed me. I need to turn this down a little bit more. It really annoyed me in the... As I was doing it, the original translators, they kept writing murder instead of murderer. Yeah, I need to check that adventure. That doesn't add up. It doesn't flow nicely, so I have to change it anyway. So that one, murderer. She's asking you who the murderer is. Blankman is Blankman. Nothing more, nothing less. What's up with this guy? I'm both irritated and disappointed. Yeah, you can also just like screen cap. If you send me screen caps on Discord, that would also be super nice. The atmosphere affected the whole prison. Do you know what I specialize in? Enough. Mr. Kuroda, let's send him back to Tokyo. We're wasting our time. I agree. Even if we are the SLEU, we don't need a useless man like this. Blankman is a fictional character that appears in an urban legend. Yeah. Now I'm 100% sure they didn't update it because I changed SLEU here to the full thing and then put it in parentheses. So because this is the first time the abbreviation SLEU appears. So you have to make sure that there's the link, and then after that you can keep using the abbreviation, but one time you have to like explain it a little bit. Kirk, thank you so much! 13 months! Holy fuck! Thank you! Thank you, thank you! Blankman is a fictional character that appears in an urban legend. He attacks people who walk the streets alone at night. He's a phantom that uses scissors to take his victim's eyes. Okay, I need to turn my volume down. This is so fucking loud. I think I do that in the menu here. Menu? Volume. Volume is set to 5. What the fuck? Oh. Is the music resetting or? It just went super quiet for me. Oh, there we go. Set it to 2. Exits. Okay. It's quite loud. Yeah, I already turned it down a bunch in OBS, but let me know if it's still quite loud. I can turn it down more. That's another. Okay. No one knows who he really is. People have also named him the Light Pillager because of his peculiar method of killing. As if in a hurry, he started getting very talkative. Listening to his grating voice filled me with rage. I really wanted to take down his facade. He was hiding behind a detached attitude, and I wanted to expose who he really was. So I decided to challenge him. Just wait for your trial to continue, you murderer. I'm not lying to you. You should listen to my words a little more carefully. Oh, here we go! I hope I can read it in time. I'll just use the same choices. The strategy of yours might work if we were gullible victims that fell for your trap. Oh, I need to take... Let me tell you what happens if you try to mess with the police. Are you telling me that I'm a fraud? Oh, goodness. He let out a big sigh and looked at me disappointedly. Maybe I chose the wrong words. I should be more careful next time. Me! Didn't I say that more people would die if we don't hurry? We don't have time to go along with your hysteria. This is really hard to translate. Because each choice is a separate file, so it was really hard to, like, find, like, the common thread in the files. What's your goal? Nothing too big. I'm just in pursuit of the truth. Pursuit of the truth? Are you talking about finding the murderer? In your case, that's right, but for me it's different. I want to know more about this urban legend. I'll look him right in the eyes. It's just my intuition, but I think he's telling the truth. If so, maybe I just need to listen a little more carefully. So what will you do? Will you listen to me or will you send me back to Tokyo? It's your call. Just make a decision already. Do you want something from us? Tell me the truth. I do. I want to find out the truth, but I think it's close to impossible with my current situation. If we continue like this, we won't be able to catch Blankman. So you're saying you want us to proceed with the investigation your way, am I right? Precisely how the track ends. I'm happy to have such a smart detective by my side. He nodded, satisfied. I guess this time I said what he wanted to hear. But why is he so obsessed with Blankman? I should question him about this. Why are you so obsessed with Blankman? None of your business. It's personal. I want to understand you. I want you to tell me something personal. I'm trying to understand you. No detective or prosecutor has said anything like that before. All they did was treat me with suspicion since the beginning of the murder case. I'm sorry to hear that, really. Maybe we can work on the same team. That sounds nice. I haven't had such a warm conversation in a long time. He seems relieved. Not a bad reaction. I hope he opens up and shares what he knows. Yeah! Now tell me what you want. I want to hear you say it. All I want from you is to listen to me more carefully. You don't want to make any mistakes. Oh, I couldn't even finish that. I don't know. This is still hard. The music. I really enjoy making your own rules. I could say the same thing to you. We have to get rid of these negative vibes between us, or this case will get nowhere. The case? Do you really think so? I do. So I think we should meet halfway. But if your attitude persists, then... He smiled. I could tell what his true intentions were. How can I keep him under my control? I'm starting to get worried. Ah, fuck. Haha. What are you laughing at? I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at my own clumsiness. I treated you like one of my students. I guess that means I'm really invested in this conversation. Is that an apology? What do you think? Do you understand the position you're in? I don't care if you were a professor. You're a prisoner now.
Excellent.
You should start acting like one. Damn, girl! Or really? I don't think I agree. Ah, I can't believe this. I'm so fed up with this egomaniac. Do I really have to work with this guy? Oh, we ended exactly where we started. Just tell me what what you want, what you really, really want. Oh, I missed the host. Thank you so much. Thank you, Grinks, for the host. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for the raid. We're playing Shin Hayarigami. I translated this. This is my game. My game. But yeah, I was the translator. And we're kind of doing playtests right now to check if we can find some spelling errors to fix. So we're right at the start, actually. We're about half an hour into the game. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Kat, you're still here. Thank you. Thank you, guys. That's enough, Gigi. Don't get too riled up. But, yeah, it's okay. Remember, we are in no position to decide what to do with him. You should have known better, Kazamori. Why didn't you stop earlier? I just... No matter how aggravating he was, we weren't the ones who could determine his fate, as we're not the ones in charge of this investigation. That's what Kuroda was trying to tell us. Don't know what to say. I've been listening closely to today's heated arguments, and I think you are a good fit for our team. The game is on sale right now, by the way. It should be. I can't really check because I already own it, but they said they were gonna throw it on sale when I started streaming. So, and it's already really cheap, I think, to begin with. Isn't it like $3 or something? So definitely, could someone look into that? How much it is on the store, iOS or Android? Good to know. Just remember one thing, we are the SLEU. We do things the right way. My officers may look a little gruff, but they're good people. So let's cooperate with each other. Well, I can't do that alone. Well, alright. Gigi, you two shake hands and let's forget this ever happened. Gonna have to refuse. No offense, but I think I might catch something if I touch this guy. Don't be so childish. Come on, Kazamori. Ha, same here. So cute. Ah, Young, thank you so much. Thank you for gifting that. $3 on Android. 4 Canadian dollars. I see. Nice. Got us $3 just now. It's only $3. That's awesome. Tough being the boss, huh? It's crazy cheap. I bought this game for like 25 or 30 on PS3. Don't worry about me. Anyway, let's sum this up. In Japanese though. The English version is only iOS and Android. We need more information. Blankman won't do any good here. It's no different from Slenderman, don't you think? It's good localization. If you want to hear the full story, it'll take us 2 hours. Never mind then. Anyway, how about we make this a win-win situation? You've already found the murderer's calling card, haven't you? Give me your eyes. This note will show up somewhere before Blankman appears. Alright then, let's start from that lead. Gigi, Kazamori, also one note, Baknari. I should check, because I noticed at the beginning somewhere we had the number 3 as a digit, but here I had the number 2 for 2 hours in letters. I think letters is better for lower numbers, so I should change that 3. Sorry, thanks. Okay. Excuse me, sir. I can't believe you're falling for his lies. I don't think it's smart to trust him. I think we should report back to HQ and tell him that the Matt killer was just saying nonsense to try and catch some fresh air. We need to send him back. Yes? Hello? Fresh air? Last time I checked he was in a cell. It's not the point, Baldy. Hage! Yeah, well, Kuroda skillfully dodged Kazamori's questioning. I see. Well, you guys did a good job. I'll be getting back to the office. See you two there. I owe you guys one. We got news from CSI? Yeah, I guess that's okay. They've uncovered some new information on the victim. That's not CSI, I think. From the crime lab? From the lab? We headed from the cell back to the office. When we arrived at the SLEU... Okay, I saw someone waiting for us. This place is still a mess. It's always so tiring coming back here. This place is like a dungeon. Don't be like that. You already know the situation here. Fine. Then how about we call it the useless department? Her name is Tachibana Misuzu. We graduated together from the same police academy. She works for the prefecture's crime scene investigation department, Division 1. I guess it works then. Tachibana was one of the top students in her class. She works at the main police headquarters, but has come down to Town C to help with the case. Ah! There's a space there missing. That's because you put in your name, you put in your own name, right? And it's a placeholder, and there's probably like no space between the placeholder and you. So we need to change that. I hope someone caught that or made a note of that. You're going to bed? Okay. I will see you in a bit. Just another hour or so. Okay, good night. Did you translate writings in on backgrounds as well? I did not. No. Organization is key. I see it there. Isn't that with an S though? Because it's like the verb. Kind of both, Liam Trent. It's more like proofreading, but I'm also just checking, like, yeah, I think it's mostly proofreading. I'm just checking if like everything follows up nicely, because when I translated it, it was all separate files and every choice was a new file, so it was really hard to like get a sense of the flow of the text. And I did my best, but now I'm also just like checking if it flows right. You're a feisty one. I think you and Kazumori will get along real well. How about joining our team? I kindly decline, sir. I'd rather stick with forensics. I only came here to offer my assistance to the SLU with the investigation because of my friend. Don't get the wrong idea on why I'm here. I see, straight to the point. I like that. Frankly, I didn't really like her attitude, but I knew she meant well. She just doesn't like wasting her time on etiquette. Give me a break. What happened to the music? Music's just gone. Give me a break, Misuzu. Let's get to the point. What have you found out about the victim? Finished identifying the body. While she was speaking, she placed a document on the table. The victim's name is Tamura Kotaro. He was male, 35 years of age. He worked at a local bank on the edge of town. First Investigation Division is still investigating, but I'm positive about the identity. We sent his DNA to the lab for testing. Impressive work. Wasn't the victim unidentifiable due to all of his teeth being pulled out? Don't underestimate CSI. We can uncover everything. Anything. They found conclusive evidence that showed that there were tiny pieces of fabric found underneath his nails. When we placed them into the mass analyzer, we found something unusual. What did you find? Fabric isn't commonly available. When we compared the data in our database, we found a match. What do you think it was? Oh, Chocobo, see you later. This will be on YouTube though if you want to catch it later. Thank you, I'll see you later. We just stood there staring blankly at her. She knew exactly what she was doing. All she wanted was for us to say, we don't know. The fibers were from a wrapper that is used for binding new bills, which are only used at Japanese banks. This material was different from the usual wrappers used at local banks. There were only a handful of banks that used those type of wrappers, so we narrowed our search for missing persons that had any connections with those banks. And that's how you found out his identity. Nice work. No matter how small the evidence, it can still be conclusive. This case is no different. Misuzu looked around the room proudly. The fact that she identified the victim with little to no evidence made her gleam with accomplishment. It is impressive. So this means it's time to start investigating the victim's background. Correct, and it appears we won't be needing Sekimoto's assistance. Well, I don't think it's going to be that simple. Aha, hubby! Hi and good night. From right above. Yeah, our bedroom's here. What do you mean, Gigi? Sekimoto mentioned that there still might be more victims later on. I thought back to the argument just earlier that really irritated me. He still might be hiding something. You seemed quite supportive of him, but weren't you the one arguing with him previously? Blah. My stomach churned as Kuroda pointed out my contradiction. It was true that whenever Sekimoto spoke, it filled me with rage. That's true, but this is a different matter. If there's a possibility of another crime, we are the only ones who can stop it. First Investigation Division has their hands full now with the Tamura case, and we can't afford to allocate any more resources. And if that's the case, the SLEU is the only one who can handle the upcoming crimes. Even if what Sakamoto said turns out to be false, at least there won't be any more victims. Are you referring to the murderer? It sounds like he needs to get some more information out of him then, but I'll leave that task to you. To be honest, I don't want to give him any more crazy ideas. That guy's crazy. By day, what did the demon in the cell tell you? Question mark? Question mark's missing. Boop. Someone's making notes, right? I don't have to do it. You guys are like screen capping and stuff. Because then I can just continue without being too worried about making notes. He said the murderer is Blankman, the same one from the famous urban legend. Wow, are you serious? Sounds like he's trying to make a fool out of you. It's time to step up your game, SLEU. I couldn't argue with her. Maybe Sakamoto really was just making fun of us, but he might still be hiding some valuable information. Thank you, Bagdari! Thank you! It might be a good idea to use the information provided by Misuzu. But it might not be a good idea, for Misuzu and Sakamoto to meet face to face. I could already tell that these two would tear each other apart. We did meet Sakamoto. No need for that. I don't think it's necessary. Maybe you should stop talking to him. What? Why? Stop talking to him? Wait. So that should be maybe you shouldn't talk to him. Because she hasn't spoken to him yet. So that's one of those things where it's like the flow. Because this file is somewhere else. So I didn't like catch the flow of the file. No one has to make notes, just enjoy the stream. Thank you, Beknari. So the one we just had, the choice was fuck, what was it? I translated as maybe you should stop talking to him. And it should be maybe you shouldn't talk to him. Don't jump to conclusions like that. I can be friendly when I need to be. I strongly disagree with her. Sakamoto is a strange guy who's only interested in urban legends and mysticism. Misuzu, on the other hand, is a very analytical person who checks everything meticulously, down to the microscopic fibers of a crime scene. Sakamoto believes in mysticism and Misuzu believes in concrete facts. It's clear that we won't get anywhere if we put those two together. I felt bad for stopping Misuzu from meeting him right now, but I told her, what? Why does it skip there? Misuzu said she was going to get back to work and return to the crime lab. As soon as she left, we received a call from the chief of the First Investigation Division asking us to bring in anyone who knew the victim, Tamura Kotaro. Normally it would be a member of the investigation team's job, but they have their hands full at the moment. As soon as they sent us the information we needed, Kazumori and I went out to question the people on the lists. Translating games is very hard, yeah. Thank you for your time, Minase Haruka. Sure, did I do something wrong? It wasn't unreasonable for this woman who was barely in her 20s to be a little uneasy. I tried to put on a friendly face so she wouldn't feel intimidated. I understand that you're nervous. This must be your first time paying this place a visit, right? But we just want to talk. Talk? Yeah, you've heard of the recent murder that occurred in this town a couple days ago, right? I wanted to ask you about Tamura Kotaro. Sure, but how did you know I knew him? Sorry, we can't divulge that kind of information. Just think of it as a result of good police work. She seemed frightened by the information we collected. That made me suspicious. Maybe you should know something. Let's get straight to the point. How do you know the victim? I met him at a university I attend. We met by coincidence. I met him at the Department of Literature. He was looking for a faculty member and somehow we became friends. Do you know what he was looking for and why? All I remember is that he was looking to settle some sort of debt. He came by to let the person know that they owed him money. Seems that Tamara was very demanding. He was so persistent that the faculty member ended up not coming back to work. Not coming back to work. Probably out of fear. It should probably just be back to work, I feel. Yeah, there's no QA for this. I mean, they kind of checked like spacing to make sure that it fits the screen, I think. But other than that, I don't think anyone QA'd this. So that's what we're doing right now. Company called back in the next stage already. Ah, you did so well then. That's awesome. Tamara came there on work-related business. Can you describe your relationship with him? We were just friends. My university friends often mistook us for lovers, but it wasn't like that. Definitely not. Honestly, I was a bit scared. Haruka drew back. This gesture made me suspicious of her. It might be enough reason to hurt Tamara. Scared? How so? How can I put it into words? He was very physical. He was always overly friendly, but then he would also try to touch me like we were dating. So gross. Tamara was such an asshole. Well, you're a very attractive young woman, so I can see why he'd want to. What if he hit me? Wait, what did you just say? I said he hit me. That's DV, right? DV is the abbreviation for domestic violence. This term is commonly used for violence that happens within a familial home. In recent years, it has become a much bigger social problem, but the police surprisingly haven't done much to intervene. Haruka looked over at me, giving me a pleading look. I could tell from her eyes that she was genuinely worried about this situation. Please relax, Miss Haruka. You have nothing to worry about now. But take a look at this. Damn. No, even the wisecracking Kazamori was left speechless. We could see a bruise that was still swollen on her neck. Did Tamara do that? Haruka nodded hesitantly. Her eyes began to well up with tears. I now realized she had desperately tried to cover it up with her hair. Haruka, that must have been difficult. I understand how you must have felt during that time. You must have been so angry when it happened. If I was in your situation, I would have filed a complaint. If I was in your situation, I would have filed a criminal complaint. That makes two of us. Could I still file a report now? Unfortunately, Tamara is dead, but you could still file a report, but you won't get an apology from him anytime soon. I'm really sorry for what happened, but that's not going to help you. Haruka bit her lip and slapped the desk. Bam! She most likely has a lot of pent-up anger. I sympathize with her, but at the same time I have some doubts. She had plenty of motives to have wanted Tamara dead. Could you give us some more details, Miss Haruka? Can you tell me where you were at the time of Tamara's death? Excuse me, what do you mean? Exactly what I just said. Do you have an alibi? Do you have any witnesses that can verify this? Wait, am I a suspect now? Not at all. We're just going through protocol. I didn't do it. Isn't that enough? No. We need more concrete information than that. That means you're doubting me. If you really didn't do anything, then you could prove your innocence, right? Kazamori backed me up. He tried to sound as nice as possible, but I can tell he's just as suspicious of her as I am. So, just tell us where and what you were doing at the time of Tamara's death. I don't want to talk about it. Haruka, you're putting yourself in a difficult position if you do this. I said I don't want to talk about it. You said this was voluntary, right? If that's so, then this conversation's over. Damn. Ah, Alice, thank you so much for gifting to Liam. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you, thank you. What the hell are you hiding? Nothing. I didn't do anything, okay? Just leave me alone. She suddenly became hysterical and there was nothing we could do anymore. Then Kurada came in to check on us and ordered us to finish up questioning with a bitter look on his face. We had no choice but to send her home. Royally fucked that up. Thank you, Alice. That's awesome. We're at 455. Oh my god! Is that like a new record? Oh, it's the highest we've ever gotten. That's really nice. Looks like we hit the jackpot with our first person. Kazumori, that kind of conclusion will hinder the investigation. I know, but didn't you see how she reacted? She even refused to give us her alibi. She has to know something. Don't you agree, Gigi? I agree with Kazumori. She's definitely hiding something. She has a solid motive, too. I think she's evolved somehow. What do you think, old man? If we play our cards right, we can use this to our advantage. There's no reason for a hasty decision. We still have more people we need to question. Let's make our final decision after we hear out the rest of the possible suspects. Let's get back to it. Our next visitor is waiting. Kurada hurried us along as if we were working at a restaurant getting ready for lunchtime. Who's next again? The owner of the local brewery. Oh, this one. Oh, him. Yeah. I had the same reaction. Second person to interrogate today is Tsunahori Masaharu, owner of the local brewery. Brewery. It's a really hard word. Brewery. How do you even say it? Brewery. His family has been brewing traditional alcohol in Town C for generations, and this is very popular among the locals. Their brewery is a very popular spot for the local police officers. Mr. Tsunahori is a confident artisan alcohol brewer. It's not an exaggeration to say that they make the most delicious sake every year in the spirit of craftsmanship. I felt bad that we had to interrogate him. Hey, Tsunahori, still stiff as always, I see. How's work? Brewery. With a second R. Yeah. Brewery. God, there's so many ways to say it. Is that time again where we have to start preparing for this year's new batch? That means you have nothing to do until your rice crop finishes growing. In that case, let's take it slow, shall we? Unlike you, I'm not a smooth talker. All I can think of is work right now. If you don't mind, can we keep this short? Direct as usual. For someone who's pretending to be busy with work, I heard you're living it up at night quite a bit. Not as much as you. Hey, Gigi, I'm getting the feeling he doesn't like me. I think I'll leave him to you. Had a bad feeling about this from the start. Having called Tsunahori in on such short notice, he appears rather bothered by it. I wanted to start out the interrogation with a calm atmosphere, so I tried to speak in the calmest manner I could. Blu-ray. Just say Blu-ray, yeah. Mr. Tsunahori, thanks for coming in on such short notice, even with your busy schedule. Let's cut the formalities and get to the point. You want to know about Tamara, right? Ah, yes. This is going to be tough. I can barely gain the upper hand in the conversation. Mr. Tsunahori, tell me about your relationship with Tamura. He was the person put in charge of our case at the bank. He approved our loan. But he had changed his mind recently. Can you elaborate on that? Have you heard of the loan retrieval? I'm not a loan expert, so could you please briefly explain what that is? Loan retrieval is when a loan is abruptly cancelled and must be paid back immediately. Small to medium-sized companies usually can't afford to run their businesses alone. So that's why they borrow money from a bank to cover the rest of their expenses and pay back only a small percentage of the loan every month. This is a cycle and helps companies to stay in business, but if they're suddenly forced to pay back their loan, their lifeline will be cut off and they'll be forced to shut down. Tamara demanded that I pay back the entirety of the loan immediately. When did this happen? Happened about 3 weeks before he died. He said bank regulations had changed and they were making more thorough business evaluations. Evaluation? Yeah, I think that was right. So what did you do? You didn't assault him or anything, did you? Wolf Among Us? I haven't, Noodle. I always... Yeah, I'm tempted. I'll play it someday, for sure. It's been in the back of my mind, yeah. Of course not. I'm not the kind of person. Yuko and I did pay him a visit at the bank, but when we tried pleading with him, guess what that bastard said to us? Kazumori and I exchanged looks. Must have been bad. Without interjecting, I waited for Tsunahori to continue. That bastard said if I wanted the loan retrieval to disappear, I should kneel. So what did you do? I did what he told me. I got down on my knees and I begged. I'll never forget how humiliating it was. Such a bastard, this Tamura guy. Fuck. However, he didn't do what he promised. He then tried to force me to sell my land to pay back the loan. I couldn't find the right words to say. I started to lose all sympathy for the victim, Tamura. He wasn't really going to withdraw the loan retrieval. At that moment, I really did want to kill him. Want to kill him? Wait, you didn't actually... Both Kazumori and I reacted to his direct reveal of a motive. Tsunahori quickly realized what he just said. He then cleared his throat and readjusted himself. Don't get me wrong, I was only thinking it. I didn't actually go through with it. But Tamura was murdered. What happened to your loan retrieval? I don't know. You were assigned a new person by the bank. By the way, we didn't know that Tamura was the victim, remember? I know it might take some time before we have to start paying back the loan. It should take a while, right? Mr. That right should maybe be a question mark. This should take a while, right? I'm just saying it again for Ragnari. Mr. Tsunahori, what were you doing at the time of Tamura's death? I was with my family. We were spending some time together at our home. I see. We'll check to see if your alibi holds up, if that's okay with you. Do as you wish. I still can't believe he made you get on your knees and beg. I seriously would have lost it. That alone would be enough of a motive for revenge. Kazumori, I think you're taking this a little too far. Hey, what are you implying? Thank you, Vagnari. Calm down, Mr. Tsunahori. Tsunahori immediately reacted to the words that just left Kazumori's mouth. He grabbed Kazumori by the collar and stared him right in the eyes. Hey, take it easy. You know you're assaulting a government official, right? You're the one who's treating me like a murderer. Knock it off, both of you. You want to go? I'll never buy drinks for your place again. Fine by me. I wouldn't waste our precious alcohol on the likes of you anyway. What did you just say? You want to spend a night locked up in a cell? Do you want to get banned from other bars as well? What? You bastard! Bring it on! You bastard! You son of a bitch! Ah, you too! Both of them were acting like children. They were like two angry cats during mating season. Hey, Gigi, say something. What? Me? Whose side are you on? Can you tell this punk cop to back off? Ah, what should I do? How am I going to break this up? Yeah, I did the commotion before, but it's triggering the fire alarm. It's quite bad. I'll just get angry. Ah! That's definitely me. That's so me. The A and triple H. I tweet that a lot. It's like on my phone, you know how it like has autofill? If I type A, that's the center thing. That's definitely me. That's enough! You two are grown men, for goodness sake. GG. Now sit down. Are you out of your minds? This is a police station. It's my signature, yeah. That's right, you tell him. Same goes for you, Kazumori. Do you want to do your work in lockup tonight? Sorry. And you, Tsunahori, you're the owner of a famous brewery, Blu-ray. You shouldn't have fallen for his childish jabs. Yeah, you're right. Now, shake hands, you two. Come on now. They did! Two men forcefully shook hands as they were told. That's better. I'm so sorry for all the trouble my husband caused. No, we're the one who should apologize, ma'am. The woman apologizing was Tsunahori's wife, Tsunahori Yuko. Someone must have called her over during the interrogation and commotion. Yuko and I kept apologizing to each other for a while. Yeah, it's like super Japanese where you're like, sumimasen, and the other one's like, sumimasen, sumimasen, sumimasen. You do it like 5 times. Right next to the woman was her son, Tsunahori Satoshi, but he didn't seem to understand what was going on. He's gonna hunt Pokemon later. That's enough, Yuko. He was the one who started it. Darling! Give it a rest, Gigi. We'll just make sure to have a good look at his alibi. Kazumori, he'll always say one thing too many. By the way, I was just chewed out a moment ago by my superiors, thanks to you, Kazumori. Yeah. Kazamori mumbled an apology under his breath. Any normal person would have properly apologized. Jeez, Kazamori. Anyway, the young owner of the Blu-ray has more of a motive than Minase Haruka does. Correct. It doesn't seem like Tamura was a nice guy while he was alive. So you think it's a grudge? Ah, spacing. Fuck. Space for grudge. Well, I don't know. If it continues at the rate we're going, we are going to have a lot of people with a motive. There's still one more person waiting. Let's hear what the kid has to say, okay? Kid? How old are they? Well, yeah. Please don't cause another incident, alright? Our division can't take any more criticism. Kuroda left the room to get the next person for the interrogation. Jesus, so me. Shortly after, a young woman showed up. Nice to meet you. Okay, you take it from here. Wait a minute, is this the right person? I thought you mentioned the manager of the welfare facility. Sensing what I was saying, the girl in front of me looked pained. Yes, this is her. Miss, your name? My name is Makimura Sanae. Nice to meet you. How could such a young girl be involved with a guy like Tamura? Can't be the same kind of relationship as Haruka's, right? To be exact, she's a representative. Right now, she's the only staff member who was available. What's that supposed to mean? Go easy on her now. Do your job and keep that in mind when you interrogate her. I'm counting on you two. He left. Kazamori gestured over to me as if he was handing her off to me. Like this was too much trouble for him. Why are all the men in the SLU so worthless? I turned my head toward Sanae and I let out the smallest sigh. Sorry for the fuss. Let's get started. My name is Gigi and that guy over there is Kazamori. It's nice to meet you. Hello. You've heard of the recent incident that happened in town. Jesus Christ. Happened in town a couple days ago, right? Yes, I've heard about it, but I haven't been following the news closely lately. We've identified the victim. His name is Tamura Kotaro, and he worked at the local bank. You know him, right? No, I don't. Are you sure? No, I've never met him before. Sorry. How is this possible? Why would she be here if she didn't know who he was? I have a feeling this is going to get very troublesome. I glanced over at Kazamori, but he pretended not to notice. So frustrating. I think maybe Tamura had some kind of connection with the chief director. He has called him a couple times. All I can tell you is what I overheard. Will that be okay? That'll be fine. Anything you can tell us will be helpful to the investigation. Sanae gathered her thoughts and started talking again. The facility I've been working for was hurting financially. I think that's why the chief director has a connection with the victim. Things are a lot better now, but it wasn't unusual for us to receive our payrolls late. A lot of my superiors quit their jobs because of this. So how come you're still working there? In order to pass the national exam for a career as a care worker, I need to have experience working for a company. That's why I stayed. I see. She'd be a good nurse. I could sympathize with her situation, but she could have easily found a new job. Care workers are in high demand at the moment. She says that she didn't know Tamura, so I decided to try to find out if it was really true. You said that you've never met Tamura, but do you dislike the man? Pardon, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. He was the one who rejected the loan request, causing all the financial problems at your facility. So this is directly connected to the issues involving the payrolls, isn't it? I guess. I've never thought about it that way. It was true that we were going through a hard time, not being paid at all. But they still gave me a place to live and warm meals. That's admirable of you. That's rare nowadays. Thanks, I guess? That must have been pretty rough. If you ever need anything, my number is... Kazamori, we're not allowed to disclose personal information. It's so funny. It's not like I'm trying anything shady. You're such a stickler, jeez. Culprit is still out there. You must be scared, right? Yeah, to be honest, there are only females left. There are only women? I think women's better. Women left working at our facility. There are only women working at our facility now. That's way better. It should be that. Kazamori, there will be no mixing of official and personal affairs. Plus, this interrogation isn't over yet. Sanae, can we ask you one more question? Yes, of course. What was your chief director doing today? We had some questions we would like to ask him if that's okay. I'm afraid that'll be impossible. Is he a busy person? He committed suicide. I think he felt responsible for the slump the company was going through. At least his insurance money is helping us keep the facility open for a while longer. So sad. Suicide? Yeah, the director sacrificed his own life to save the facility. Her expression was hard to read. Kazamori and I didn't know how to respond to what she just said. Can you imagine, like, being that desperate or that committed to your company that you end your own life because you know your insurance will cover or give the company more money? It's crazy. Suicide. I see. That is indeed a complicated situation. As he said that, Kuroda started writing something on the whiteboard. He wrote down Tamara, the victim, and the 3 other people we interrogated, Haruka, Tsunahori, and Sanae. That 3 again. I just need to check single digits. How should we interpret all of this? It was clear that no one liked Tamara. I know everyone has their own issues, but this guy just seemed bad. Out of the 3, I think we can all agree that Tsunahori has the strongest motive. But didn't you see the bruise on Haruka's neck? She must have wanted revenge. So nothing on Makimura Sanae? She seems to have no motive. She also wouldn't have gained anything from Tamara's death. I wish I could have talked to her before the director committed suicide. Maybe that should be, I wish I could have talked to the director before he committed suicide. I should recheck the Japanese for that. Kuroda nodded, but just stood there holding the tip of the marker against the whiteboard. He couldn't decide how to summarize all of this. It's no use. I can't make out any of this. Gigi, what's your opinion on the matter? Yeah, it's a font thing. I kind of want them to fix it, but at the same time it's not too jarring. The periods sometimes being that high when it's 3 of them. I think they can fix it, but it might be a lot of work. Coconut, good night. Thanks for hanging out. Yes, please give us your opinion on how all of these pieces fit together. If you do that, we might discover something new. All right, go ahead. Kuroda handed me the marker, and I went over to the whiteboard with my arms crossed. Something might be dug up out of the relationship between the victim Tamara and the others. I started writing anything that came to mind. I drew a simplified diagram that was in my head. There was hardly enough space on the whiteboard to write everything down. The whole picture that I had in my head was... something like this. I scribbled down everything that was in my head and put down the pen. To be honest, it wasn't even close to figuring out who the real killer was. The only thing that was clear was that we were missing too many pieces of the puzzle to this case. I feel like the person that's in the middle of all of this is Blankman. Am I right? Who the hell is that, and what is he? Kazamori was right. The existence of Blankman is just too strange. Originally, the man down in his cell, Sakamoto, was supposed to provide the investigation with critical information to help push this case forward. But all he talked about was Blankman, a character from his expertise of urban legends. And because of that, we are now forced to slowly gain territory as usual. I also received some flack from the first investigation division. They said that only our division would be able to get that kind of useless information out of that professor. Seems like their frustration is justified. If we can't get anything useful out of him, we're going to have to break off the agreement and send him back to Tokyo. Someone leaving? Ah, pasta! Good night! Yeah, you're excited for Silent Hill 2? Oh! Tomorrow is cancelled. I'm so sorry, Pasta. I am switching Sunday and Friday. Sunday was supposed to be my day off, but we got invited to something. I forgot I just found out, so I haven't really had time to change it yet. But no stream tomorrow night, but there will be streams Saturday and Sunday night. Normally Sunday's my day off, but so there will be more streams this weekend. So we'll make it up. We'll just switch 2 days. I'm sorry, Pasta. It'll be Saturday and Sunday night. My head's still spinning. I also need to be more consistent with the size, because most times it's between brackets, and sometimes it isn't. I wish it was just one huge file. It's so annoying that it's like 290 different files. It's so hard to find something. Put the cold drink I just bought to my forehead. There's still so much we don't know, but that's all I know for certain. How should we proceed with the investigation? What are we overlooking? We still need to check the alibis of the people we interrogated today. We also have to look for possible new witnesses. And there's the physical evidence too. We might get some new evidence if we keep working together with Misuzu. There's just so much work to do. That's how I felt when I was translating this. I shouldn't worry. That's what the murderer wants me to do. I have to remain calm and keep my cool. I think I need to rest for a bit. I closed my eyes and tried to relax. Ready for Saturday then. Thank you. Hello. Excuse me, can I have a moment? Yes? Just as I was about to take a rest, I slowly turned around and saw a man with a slight smile on his face. This is such a douchebag. I haven't seen him around here before. I don't think he works here. I wonder who this guy is. I'm sorry to disturb you during your break. Please, here's my business card. The man took out his business card in one swift motion. The card was simple with only black letters on a white background. It only showed his title and name. Freelancer journalist Tsudanuma Yoichi. Tsudanuma. No address or phone number. Looked like it was made in under 5 minutes. His face made a suspicious expression as if he was sensing what I was thinking. Always hard at work with your cases. Could I have a quick word with you? So where do you work as a journalist? At least tell me your name. Oh, right. Sorry about that. You wouldn't know it from the business card. Wait, what? Wait, it was his name on the business card, though. He pulls back the business card and shoves it back into his pocket. With his hands now free, he starts rubbing them together. I work for the weekly salary. So it's not about his name, it's where he works that's not on the business card. That's also a good note. I need to look at that again. Part of the local editorial department. You probably haven't heard of us. It's not a magazine for young women. Weekly Salary. I've never read that magazine, but I've heard the name before. It's aimed at middle-aged businessmen, dealing mostly with politics, current events, entertainment, and investment with a sprinkle of juicy gossip. If I remember right, this magazine has a tendency to exaggerate and blow up anything they can get their slimy little hands on. He looks like a drug user. He's a real douchebag. You'll find out in a bit. In any case, this guy seems like trouble. I have to be careful with what I say because he can twist my words to anything he wants. If someone found out I was involved with this, I'd be in big trouble. Without hesitating, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a recorder, still with a big smile. Can I ask you some questions? I promise you'll remain anonymous. Even if he doesn't use my name, it'll be pointless. You can't underestimate the police. They would surely find out the source, and I would be blamed for this. I smiled faintly. A deliberate ploy to make him drop his guard. I'm sorry, but you won't get much from someone like me who's at the bottom of the chain. Shouldn't you try one of my superiors? Don't be so modest. You're kind of a celebrity now. You're one of the ones in charge of the killer professor. How did you... Where did you get that? I'm a journalist, you know. This is what I do, and you have to be the best to survive in these hard times for publishers. But I'm bound by this thing called confidentiality. I'm sorry, but I can't disclose where I got that information. You understand, right, Miss Gigi Gab? He even knows my full name. GG Gab. What even happened to our security? I was too in shock to respond to his direct approach. Any updates on that Blankman? He even knows about Blankman. You gotta be kidding me. Only Kuroda, Kazamori, Misuzu, Sekimoto, and myself know about Blankman. Where did you get that information? Oh, I have various sources. I have my own set of contacts, you know. But how about we just leave it at that? That's all I got. But thanks to you, now I know how important this whole Blankman thing really is. Fuck. Oh boy, this is trouble. If we keep going like this, he might get enough information to write an entire article. I sensed he was getting more and more excited about the more nervous I got. People like him make me sick. If you would excuse me, I have to go now. My apologies, but we're not allowed to make statements to the press. I stood up and started to make my way back to our office, but he suddenly cut me off, blocking my way. He's such an asshole. Hey, Achilles! Hey, hold on a second. Cut me some slack here. It's not like I'm burdening you with anything, right? You're asking me to give you confidential information about an ongoing investigation. That's anything but convenient. A little burpee. No. Aren't we supposed to work together like a team? Police have been using the press to get what they needed ever since the good old days. And in return, we would get the exclusive. I don't have time to tell you all the details, but that's how it goes, right? I'm not authorized to divulge that level of strategy. Please step aside. Well then, if you insist. He stopped his recorder. In that case, I have no other options but to publish the information I have. Please do. Well, I really must be going. Here it comes. With those words, I started walking. A new development involving the murder investigation in Town C. Authorities have been working together with the killer professor? I froze. When I look over my shoulder, he still had that annoying smile. Is the key to the murder in Town C an urban legend? Is Blankman the answer to the riddle? What are you babbling about? I was just thinking how nice that would be for a juicy headline. That's my job, you see. Pasta, see you later. Good night. Oh, how about this? Charming detective blushes. Secret meeting with killer professor exposed. It's Danuma. With a sharp tone, I stopped his glib tongue, but in doing so I showed him that I'm anxious. It was clear that he had me completely wrapped around his finger. I have to gain control of this situation at all costs. Otherwise, this is going to become very difficult. Typo. Please take it easy. Perfectly fine, thanks. How about you? Here we go. I might fuck this up. Don't be hasty. No need to be so hasty. Let me discuss this with my superiors. Hold on, that won't do. You're trying to cherry pick which press to talk to, am I wrong? Not the one to... I can't decide such things by myself. It might cause some trouble for you if I don't do my job right. So what's your bright idea then? Then I held my tongue. I almost told him, almost cooperated with him. This is getting dangerous. I should remain calm. If I don't, I might slip up and reveal something important. Oh, fuck. Okay, whew. I see. You surprised me, though. We're searching for information as an entire organization, and you're working all alone. Well, thank you. Just doing my job. Any tips or pointers? Do you have any tips or pointers for me? Well, I'm not sure, but if you insist. Oh, that's close. I nearly told you. Oh, come on, please. No can do. Information is like gold to us. Can't find any weak points. What should I do now? Okay. You seem to be taking some risks of your own. If that's the case, let's go talk about what you've got in the interrogation room. Huh? Is that legal? Isn't that an infringement on the freedom of the press? Time to listen. Since you're being serious, I think it's time to get to the bottom of this. But I think this interrogation is optional for me, right? I know my rights and I can't refuse. Do you want the scoop on something juicy? Something juicy, huh? How about I publish a juicy article about you in my magazine? We continued exchanging words and other verbal quips for a while. But all that came out of it was a bunch of nonsense. This argument was a waste of time. Oh no! That was a bad one. Ah, you're so persistent. I'll take that as a compliment. I am persistent, so let's just get it over with. I'll call my superior. Well, you leave me no choice. Wait here, I will go fetch my supervisor. Are you talking about Kuroda? Haha, I'm not afraid of him. How's he doing these days? Do you know him? A little, back in the day. He used to be an easygoing person, unlike yourself. He clearly understood the meaning of mutual dependence. On second thought, I don't think it would be a good idea to bring Kuroda here. He seems to have many contacts in the police force. I may just have to deal with this myself. Ah, fuck! Ah. This conversation is going nowhere. Let's stop this. We've already come to the conclusion we don't trust each other. Trust! That's it! How about a drink tonight? That's the perfect way to break the ice. You're a sly fox. I'll warn you now that I can hold my liquor. If you try to pull a fast one, you'll lose. You're gonna probably be the little clever raccoon. Ha ha ha! Says a member of the washout division. Never in my day have I been so humiliated like this before. Do you think that was an insult? Of course. He said he was assaulted, but he looks like he was full of delight. Please trust me. I hope this conveys my true intention of refusing him. Ugh! Okay, I get it. Sorry to have bought— No! Don't go! Fuck, this is a game over. Finally given up. Thank you. Yeah, finally understand you, what kind of person you are. What's that supposed to mean? This is my old version, because I changed that raccoon to a fox. You're a sly little fox. You are the kind of person that's unhappy working in a puny division, but still works obediently like a dog wearing a collar. Why you... Well then, excuse me. It's so funny because I translated it, but I haven't... I don't know the outcome of the choices, so I don't know which choice is actually good or not. What the hell is his deal? Enraged, I stared him down as he walked away. Well, let's get our first bad ending. I never saw him again. In person, to be exact. It happened several days later. We were anxious because there hadn't been any progress with the investigation. We repeatedly struggled to get any useful information out of Sakamoto. But all of Sakamoto's answers were vague and abstract, useless. Then one morning... Gigi, Kazumori, what the hell have you done? Oh... I need to let them know that. So their original translation was weekly gallery, and I changed it to weekly salary because the Japanese was wikuri sarari, like from salaryman. So I was like, why isn't it just weekly salary? So I changed it everywhere, but not in images. So I need to tell them that they need to change the image from weekly gallery. It's not super important, but I noticed. As Kuroda shouts, he throws a magazine on the desk. It was a weekly magazine for middle-aged men. Weekly salary? What about it? Don't play dumb. They know all about who we have in custody here. How the hell? I grabbed the magazine and quickly read the article. Yep, it was about Sakamoto, all right. Conspiracy revealed. Incompetent authorities decide to release Killer S's secret. The identity of the beautiful detective working with the killer. Secret division exposed. Police corruption. Photos of the Prefecture S detective who asked for killer's help. Is this about Sakamoto? Sakamoto's name wasn't specifically mentioned. Only his initials were used. The article was vague and ambiguous, not revealing much detail about the case. It was full of exaggerated claims and false accusations, but still. Hold on, they actually know some things that are going on in the investigation? Our department head talked to me this morning and was furious. Are you two linked to this article? Of course not. Why the hell would I talk to such a crappy magazine like that? What about you, Gigi? I remembered my exchange with Sudanuma Yoichi a few days ago. The realization on my face was enough for Kurada to figure out what had happened. Gigi, I'm sending you to HQ. You will be under internal investigation there. Excuse me. But I don't know anything. I was harassed by a reporter, but I didn't tell him anything. This isn't just your problem anymore. You'll have to explain yourself to HQ, not just me. It seemed that no excuses were going to help get me out of this one. Depending on what they conclude in their internal investigation, I think my days as a detective are over. I could barely stand. Wah wah wah. Game over. It's game over, man. Game over. Weekly salary ending. Ending number 3. To be continued. That's a cool image. It's like they're like a band. No, I'll do that later. I should be able to select scene. Let's see. Liar's art. Can we start there? Yes. Perfect. That works. And it should show us which ones we've chosen. Okay. Answer my questions first. Let's just try something. If you answer my questions first, I'll decide if we can... I had nothing that was like... that went the right way, right? So we have a 50-50 chance to choose the correct answer. I'll decide if we can work together or not. Are you trying to take control of the situation? Shit, he saw right through that. It's pretty clever. I need to choose my words more carefully if I don't want things to get any worse. Oh my god. You surprised me though. We're searching for information as an entire organization, and you're working all alone. Haha, well thank you. Just doing my job. I really don't know anything. I'm just a new recruit, so there's nothing I can tell you. Stop being so modest. Should I publish an article about a beautiful cop that dodges questions from the press? You wouldn't. My superiors, they would kill me. Oh, this sounds quite alluring. That's good, really good. How about a picture of a beautiful police officer on the front? No? How does he keep coming up with all of this material? This guy is frustrating. Cooperation is definitely off the table. Why do I have to be the one he's interested in? Is that another bad one? Ooh, that was a good one. Okay. You seem to be taking some risks of your own. If that's the case, let's go talk about what you've got in the interrogation room. Is that legal? Is that an infringement on the freedom of the press? Yeah, I know my first didn't move. I'm trying to just get a positive one. I want to be in the blue. Look here, Tsudanuma. Tsudanuma. It's so weird to say his name. If you keep this up, I could charge you with obstruction of justice. This is a bad one, I think. In that case, how about I publish a special issue revealing a dirty investigation by corrupt cops? Our sales would double. Are you threatening a police officer? You should stop being petty. We're both adults, right? He evaded my threats without breaking a sweat. Obviously, this isn't his first rodeo. He must be thinking that I'm just easy prey for him to toy with. I think I should wait for him to slip up so I can deal him a devastating blow. Typo. Okay. You're so persistent. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm persistent, so let's just get it over with. Never. You want to hear me say never, don't you? But unlike you, I'm part of an organization of good people. Yeah, I heard you. Don't worry. I already told you I won't cause any trouble. How can you be so sure? You're the one asking me for classified information. Don't worry. You won't lose your job over something like leaking information to the press. Trust me. He tried to reassure me with a bright smile and whispered to me softly, "Ugh." How can he know I won't get fired? What if the murderer changes his plans because of the leaked information? Thinking that, I realized I really shouldn't cooperate with him. Okay. This conversation's going nowhere. Let's stop this. We've already come to the conclusion we don't trust each other. Trust! That's it! How about a drink tonight? That's the perfect way to break the ice. You're like a snake. With the likes of you? No thanks. You're such a snake with your shifty eyes. Drinking with you would make even the most delicious drink taste like dirt. Haha, you've quite a mouth on you. I'm impressed. Looks like you even have some literary talent. Thanks for your flattery, but the answer's still no. I know, but all I'm asking you is to trust me. He starts rubbing his hands softly. Ugh, gross. This guy would probably double-cross anyone if it meant achieving his goals. Hey, get one. Ah, I think I understand now. What's that? Your position in your organization. I guess you're really at the bottom of the barrel. It was true, but it aggravated me that you had to point it out like that. Thanks for understanding. Now don't bother talking to me again. Alright, excuse me. Were you expecting me to say that? 5 minutes would have been more than enough. Could I get an interview with the killer professor? We're asking for the impossible. Hey, we did it. Music cuts. Then something happened. There was an uproar suddenly outside of the lobby. Hey, what's that? I quickly cut off my conversation with Tsunadama and ran towards the noise. By the time I got there, a group of officers had already gathered. They were all staring at something on the wall. They were looking at numerous TVs. It looks more like a broadcasting station than a police station. People in the town considered CCTV useless. Town C got these monitors from the government through a large subsidy. CCTV cameras were installed throughout the entire town. Their purpose was to prevent crime, but no one thought they would be of any use because there's a double space there. No one thought they would be of any use because of the town's small population. This was the first suspicious event caught on camera since they've been installed. What the hell's that? The other police officers who were looking at the screens had the same reaction. We had no idea what we were seeing. It walked strangely and swung from side to side, like it was uncertain where to go. Its posture was also strange. It walked hunched over, but to the point where it looked like it was bowing as if its head was too heavy. Maybe it was because of that it walked with its hands out in front, flailing them around in the air. I started to feel a cold fear while looking at this suspicious creature walking so strangely. It does look like a human, of that I'm sure. But still, I'm thinking it still looks like an odd-looking monster. What the hell are you all standing around here for? Get your asses over there, now! Someone screamed that from behind, as if to shake off the fear. Snapped out of it by the order, the police officers rushed outside one by one, and I... Go to the crime scene, of course! Damn! Let's go! As I headed to the area, Kazamori jumped into the passenger seat. The other officers also got into their cars as we all made our way out from the police station. We all had the same uneasy feeling that there would be another victim there once we arrived. Hey, Gigi, this is just a speculation, but what if the thing the strange guy back in the cell said comes true? There will be more bodies. I remembered his words, and instantly started to feel sick to my stomach. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Let's go investigate and see for ourselves. Woohoo! Much excite! We surrounded the suspicious-looking creature, securing it while still keeping our distance. As if noticing the car's headlights were pointed on it, the mysterious figure slowly turned around. It's a granny! Ugh. That's also really mined. Ugh. The UGH. Ambulance! We need an ambulance! All at once, chaos took over the scene. An old lady, robbed of her eyesight, slowly started to fall over. Almost instinctively, I ran over to try and catch her. Are you okay? Hang on! What happened to you? Ugh. Instead of answering my questions, she groaned and let out blood-soaked gasps. She looked like a cocoon as I held her in my arms, her body stiffening. It was too late. She was dying. Everyone seemed to realize that. My face went blank as I watched this all play out amidst the chaos. The old lady's body twitched and convulsed and then went limp. Hey, Gigi. There's something in her mouth. I didn't notice it until Kazamori mentioned it. I could see something thin stuck between her teeth. I slowly pulled out the handkerchief I had in my pocket. Then I noticed that her tongue had been completely removed. The stench coming off of her saliva that was sticking to the note was almost unbearable. Is that paper? Paper was folded very small and tight. I carefully unfolded it and read the message. It said, "Give me your eyes." It happened a second time. Sekimoto Sojiro, the killer professor in the cell, was right. Realization made me shiver. I, of course, know all of the paths this can go, but I still like it. It's so good. Yeah, poor Granny. Get out here. I have some questions to ask you. Should I wonder how I can... Wait, menu? Save. I'll just save over that one. Okay. What's my time? Okay, almost 2 hours. I'll go a little bit longer. How do I continue? Change name, options, save, load, cancel. Okay. Getting legit shivers. That means my translation is doing a good job. I'm so glad you guys like it. I worked so hard on this. Sekimoto walked out, seeing my grim expression. Took you long enough. I was getting tired of waiting. I have 2 pages of notes for you already. It's not totally bad though, right? I didn't have time to even be bothered by his taunt. I stared at him for a moment, but Sekimoto didn't seem interested in me at all. It's about time you tell me what happened, don't you think? There was another victim. I see. And? The MO was unusual. Both of the eyes were missing. They appeared to be cut out with scissors. I see. What else? There was a note. It said, "Give me your eyes." So I have something I want to ask you. I took a deep breath, filling my lungs with air and giving me time to make a decision. I decided that I was prepared to ask him to tell me everything. Tell me everything you know about Blankman. It's finally my turn. All right. It's a bit of a long story, so I hope you're ready for it. First off, I want you to understand that my theory was correct. A few small mistypes. Okay, if that's the worst, then I'm totally fine with that. Sekimoto smiled when he said that. It's true that Blankman is an urban legend, but his legend was actually born on the internet. Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I clicked on log. Obviously, urban legends can exist on the internet. Yes, it's because the stories can quickly travel from person to person on the net, which then creates an urban legend. We categorize the stories as internet legends. They spread fast through emails and SNS, but this term isn't official yet. His tone was different from before. He sounded smart and concise. His tone was strong and he had a demanding presence. Internet legends are quite different from the traditional ones in that you can retrace when and where the story changed. For example, if you search for stories about Blankman by date, you can see that what's the word? Apostrophes? Quotation marks? The Blankman one should be single quotation. You can see how much the story has been changed and altered. We live in such a convenient world. Do you know the origin of this Blankman story? Well, sort of. The original story wasn't that interesting. It began as a blog about a blind man who wanted his eyesight back. The blog owner begged everyone to register themselves at the eye bank so he would... Oh wait, how do I click on that? Fuck. He posted all relevant information and facilities on his blog and was always very serious in his replies to people, hoping that it would even get a couple more people to register. Database. Look, this is also me. So much work went into this game, guys. There is an institution that mediates with people who consent to donating their eyes after death. This is so that patients may regain their eyesight through a corneal transplant. That institution is called iBank and is approved by the Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare. Donating your eyes to the iBank is called Kingun in Japan, and as long as your eyes are free of any infectious diseases, cancers or leukemia, anyone can register their eyes for donation. After the eyes have been removed for transplant, false eyes will be put in place so no outward change will be visible. Oh god, there's so many. Oh, here's the Immortal on Death Row. We didn't get a pop-up for that. And I was like, internally, I was like, I know there's a file for that, but why isn't there a pop-up? There's an urban legend about a criminal on death row that won't die. No matter how many times he was put to death, he wouldn't die, and he's now still in prison. Others say the death penalty in itself was the punishment, so he was released after the punishment had been executed. In reality, the execution must have failed or was postponed, and the criminal received a pardon before his second attempt. Instead, he received lifetime imprisonment. And here's plea bargaining. In court, the prosecution and defense can make a deal. The defendant will admit his crime and cooperate with the investigation in return for a reduced sentence. We should also make a note of that both plea bargaining and the inmate who can't die, so number 6 and 7, they didn't get the pop-up when we read the text. Okay, this practice exists in America but is not accepted in Japan. There are 3 systems in Japan that are similar. Leniency policy, speedy trial proceedings, there should be a comma in between those, and summary proceedings. And the period should be in front of the thing. Quotation mark. I feel like I would have known, I would have seen that, but I did these extra texts, these explanations, I did these August 2nd. I flew back to the Netherlands August 3rd, so I was really like, I wanted to finish it really fast, so I might have rushed this part. To elaborate on one of these, a leniency policy is when a company is in violation of the antitrust law by collusive bidding or a cartel. If the company voluntarily issues a confession, they may in return receive a lower fine. Oh, and here, this is a little note for later. Their original thing was clairvoyant, so they made a graphic for it, an image, but I changed the text to 1,000 mile sight. So that thing up there should say 1,000 mile sight, so the image needs to be changed. Or in Japanese, sendigan is a special power. This is for later. You guys don't know about this yet. Here's the SLEU. Full name is Special Law Enforcement Unit, or of Prefecture S Village C, SLEU in short. Criminal investigators focus on making use of the department's mobility because they have to provide adequate personnel support for cases from all police departments. The department is also used to manage older case files, analyzing data on open cases, and maintain the systemization of investigations. In other words, this department is just here to fill the gaps. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, he was hoping people would register to the iBank. But then his fate took a turn for the worse. Do you know why? No, what happened? You could say that everything went up in flames. People thought he was a sham. He didn't sound fake to me, judging from what you just told me. Really? But how could a blind man write all those replies? There are voice support devices for the blind. Most people might not know of those devices. So what happened to him? The blog hasn't been updated since, and that's what started a new rumor. They say the blind blogger is now searching for the people that caused all this, and if he does find them, they say he'll take his revenge. The story ended up becoming an urban legend. It transformed into the monster looking for new eyes. Is that the origin of Blankman? It is, essentially. Even a ridiculous rumor can become something independent if it's based on something credible. Listen, people aren't after the truth. They are looking for stories they can relate to, like the story about the blind blogger. An innocent victim, harsh accusations and slander, and a tragedy all can be great ingredients for a gossip frenzy. He was being serious. However, the story had too many vague parts, which made it very hard to follow. So you're saying this entire story is made up? Then what's the truth? It's an experiment, plain and simple. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Keep your calm. What I'm saying is... ta-dan! That I designed it as an experiment. I was the one who wrote the story and spread it. Dun dun dun! What? What did he just say? I am the creator of the urban legend, Blankman. Sakamoto declared. That stopped me in my tracks. So you're saying that you invented Blankman? Exactly. Then how come there's a real-life one out there right now? I don't know, but I feel responsible. That's why I spoke up during the trial. Please tell me everything as it happened. Be concise. Tell me only the truth. All right, it's a long story. Sakamoto sighed deeply, closed his eyes, and pulled up his chin. Blankman was one of my folklore projects. I wanted to see how fast a story like this could spread online. Furthermore, I wanted to research how information changes during that process. I was going to use the research data to enhance viral marketing strategies and to better handle verifying false reports. Can't I click on that? I can't. For this project, I was the one who invented the story of the blind blogger and left traces online. Menu? Database? Viral marketing. This is a technique where a company relies on advertisement through word of mouth. Viral marketing got its name because viral is English for something infectious or related to a virus, because this wave marketing can suddenly spread dramatically if it succeeds. However, this kind of marketing is hard to control and unpredictable, so many worry that this kind of advertisement is inefficient. Furthermore, by hiding the fact that it's actually advertisement, it could backfire if consumers find out. Advertising while hiding your intentions from the consumer is called stealth marketing. Left traces online. Then I created the Blind Man, a character as fascinating as Hikiko, another famous character from an urban legend. And then people made Blind Man famous through the internet? No, not at first. It started off slow, even though we posted it on high-profile bulletin boards. Even after going through all that trouble, all I had to show for it was a couple of interested people, and I blamed myself for my incompetence. But then, just as I was starting to think that I should admit defeat and clean it all up, it started producing its own stories and quickly spread. It was most likely due to the story finally reaching the required amount to be spread to a broader audience. I really wanted to have this paper published, if it were possible. That sucks that last word doesn't fit. And the Blind Man story gradually started to change by the hands of the people online. It was like watching my own child grow up. I even felt a bit sad that my child was growing up on its own. Hold on, I'm not following. My brain was about to overheat from the enormous amount of information that had just been given to me all at once. I pinched my nose to try and clear my head. It's like here where my glasses are. She's probably like, Just this experiment can't be the cause of all of this. At this point, I don't see any connection between you and the investigation. You shouldn't be so hasty if you want to learn things. There's never a shortcut to the truth. Are you even a cop? God, he's so mean sometimes. Let's go over it again. I ask him to take me through the story again, but he declines and opens his mouth to speak again. That's a lot of agains. I might want to review that sentence. My students and I were extremely happy that the experiment turned out to be a massive success. But one day, one of my students stopped coming. I didn't think much of it because it wasn't uncommon for some of the younger students to skip coming to the lab. At that point, the story about Blankman spread faster than ever, so you could say I was preoccupied. I only found out what happened a week later. To be honest, I was too busy studying people's reactions because someone reported that they'd seen Blankman. There was even a real police report online. Are you even a cop, bro? And what's more, they even found the victim. There's the banker, Tamura, and today's victim. It has become a reality now. The way the people were killed is very similar to the initial version I wrote. Only a few people know about the original story. Only a few people? Can you be a little more specific on that? Just the students who were part of my office. There are paragraphs in the earliest drafts of this experiment that show how people were killed. But all of this might just be a big coincidence. Murders with similar methods happen all the time in real life. The victim who was found before, did they have a message in their mouth from Blankman? Give me your eyes. I told him what I found and his face darkened. Maybe his expression darkened. Maybe that's better. In my earliest drafts, I described how the victim would have an announcement in his mouth, addressed to the first person to discover the victim. Yes, that means you will be Blankman's next victim. No way, but this story is just made up, isn't it? Don't you get it, JG? This murderer is imitating the original story. The character from the story is no longer just an urban legend. It doesn't matter if he's the original author or not anymore. I was that scissor-wielding, eyeball-craving monster's next victim. I could end up just like all the other victims, dead with my eyes cut out. This is my story, but we still may have some time. You're wondering why I chose you, aren't you? You said it was because of an article you read in the magazine. Did you honestly believe that? I expected you to easily see through that lie. Then why did you choose me? I did my research on you. Death has always followed you your entire life. I really want to know more about that. She keeps it hidden. I need more on her. At that moment, my heart started to race. How the hell did he find that information? Why are you working as a detective here? Are you trying to hide from your past? I was dumbfounded. I felt like a frog that had been just caught by a snake. I'm nothing like you. Yeah, I've had some unfortunate moments, but I'm no criminal. I know that. I told you I did my research. I so happened to stumble upon you while I was researching the probability of a person witnessing a death and the side effects it carries. I was looking into past reports, painstakingly researching only murder cases and large-scale accidents, and you were always lurking in the shadows. This music is good, isn't it? How is that? Please tell me in exchange for this lecture. Stop it. Maybe you were destined to get wrapped into this case too. Stop it. You're like Belial. You know Belial, right? It's the name of the devil, the fallen angel. Fuck, I keep clicking on it too late. The name of both a demon with a beautiful appearance and voice and a fallen angel. It is said that whatever he says is a lie and sacrifices are needed in order for him to be able to speak the truth. In Hebrew, this name means worthlessness and wicked and is used for no good people. Although he looks like a beautiful angel, lying is the same as breathing for him. They say sacrifices are needed for him to be able to speak the truth. Enough! What's wrong? Are you feeling okay? Pants. I couldn't calm myself down. I looked over at Kazumori for support, and he seemed to grasp the gravity of the situation. Sakamoto, what the hell did you do? I haven't done anything. All I did was tell her what I knew. Is that true, Gigi? I couldn't speak. It was like my body was frozen in place. Sakamoto, don't give me a vague answer like that. What the hell did you do to my lovely partner? I've done nothing wrong. I was simply asking a question. Oh, by the way, you probably should go find Takenaka Shinichiro. What? Takenaka? Takenaka Shinichiro. He was one of my researchers who lived in Town C. What does he have to do with anything? Gigi will tell you specifics. He's the student who went missing some time ago. Look, I don't know what you're talking about. Kazamori, let's go. Let's head over to Shinichiro's house. Home. Gigi? I had barely caught my breath when I stood up. It was still difficult to move. But I had to take charge because the whole situation could become more complicated if Kazamori did the interrogation. Okay, don't push yourself too hard. I managed to get some useful information out of him. We should move fast before it's too late. Well, well. Nice work, Gigi. Alright, let's go. I think this is where I'm gonna cut the stream. Takenaka's house is gonna be very interesting. I sent Sekimoto back to his cell and headed out of the building with Kazamori, so we can start the next stream strong. The pressure that had built up slowly dissipated as I started moving around again. Even though I was slowly regaining focus, I still remained in the back of my head. It still remained. This guy, he was toying with me. Thank God I'm dying. I'm sorry, Magnari. We confirmed Takenaka Shinichiro's address and got into the car. During the drive, I tell Kazamori everything that Sekimoto told me. So, his urban legend experiment became real. That's quite the story. Okay, let's cut it here then. Yeah, I'm tired too. It's a lot of reading to do. But I'm really happy because it's smoother. It's as smooth as I hoped it was. Because it's really hard to tell for me because everything is like separate files. So it really breaks like the flow. And I went through those 290 files so many times and I'm thinking like, oh fuck, I want to change this. Then I have to find this one random file to change it there too. It was so hard. So yeah, next week I'll probably begin on part 2. It's gonna be so much work. Okay. Let me run some credits if I can, because the website hasn't been loading for me for the longest time. It loads! Yay! We ended on 455 subscribers. That's so nice! That's so good! I don't know if we've ever been that high. That's so nice. Kick and Cakes, thank you so much for those donations. Really helps me out. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Zeno, Taro, NG, Katilio, Ed, Fox, Jawashi, Muddy, Felkner, Cobra, TikTok, Geeky, Cat, Lice for the bits. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you everyone who followed me today. Thank you so much. I think it was Cat and Baknari and Fox and Crinks for the raids. Thank you, guys. So many raids. I'm really glad we got to finish Fatal Frame 1 again, too. So I'll also schedule Fatal Mode soon. Michelle, Kier, Tavi, Como, Andy, Element, Zach, Ninja, Nerdy, Salop, Dark, Travia, Venom, Karen, Dave, Leon, Kirk, Kat, and Sir. Oh, Kat! Oh, yeah, Kat got a gifted. Kat and Liam, thank you so much for the subs and resubs. Thank you, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I put a lot of work in it. It's still, of course, not perfect because I only had one guy proofreading it, but he had a full-time job too, so we were both like scrambling to get it done. So that's also why I wanted to play through it again, just to go through it like this and catch those typos and stuff and make it better. So we'll definitely pick it up again soon. I think I already planned another one. I think it's Silent Hill and then another Shin Hayarigami. I might combine Shin Hayarigami then with Fatal Frame again because it is really intense reading. I can't do like a full 3-4 hour stream just reading like this because it's so intense on your voice. So I might do like another 3 hours or something, 2 hours of Shin Hayarigami or something. I think 2 hours is probably the max because I really feel it, like how intense it is, how straining it is on my voice. Arsenic, oh my god, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the resub. Thank you, thank you. So that's it for now, but there's another stream scheduled, so it'll definitely come back in a couple days. I will switch the schedule around a little bit. So no stream tomorrow, but I will be streaming Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. So I just switched. My day off is usually Sunday, but I just switched it with Friday. And that's it. thank you so much, guys. It was awesome, and I will see you later. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Special thanks to Bagnari too for helping out with the notes. Thank you so much. Good night.